Emotional intelligence versus emotional maturity. Here's an example. I get into an argument with my cousin. We were talking about something, it was chill, but then it escalates, and by the end, she starts wilding and like says a lot of hurtful ass shit. Like out of pocket crazy stuff. Context, maybe a month ago she lost her job. She just lost her relationship, like she's really going through it, whatever. Emotional intelligence is being able to be like, you know what, she's probably yelling at me because she's angry about other stuff. Like the way she got that mad at the end had nothing to do with me, because I know what I said was not even that bad, and for her to get to that level, like she's definitely stressed about other shit. That's crazy. That's not personal at all. That's the cognitive part. But now the maturity comes in where I'm like, you know what, although I understand all that, I'm still sad because I'm still a human being who feels. And in that moment when she was directing all that rage towards me, I felt that as a sensitive person, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna sit with that. I'm gonna cry it out if I need to. Heavy on like however you need to physically get it out, whether that's crying, run it off, I don't know, like just it needs to be released though. So like different angers get released different ways. I say crying for sadness. If it's anger or whatever, if you're just pissed off, maybe you need to go jog it off, maybe you do boxing, whatever, I don't know. But it's the processing of it, and then now allowing the emotion to develop into something, because the definition of mature is fully developed. So emotions, they develop into something that needs to be expressed. In this case, you're gonna either express yourself to like my cousin directly, so maybe I'll sit with her and I'll be like, yo, like I understand things are rough, or I understand the conversation might have been like passionate, but like the way you talked to me at the end, that was crazy. It's not you talk to somebody that you care about like that. You talk to me like someone off the street. Like we don't do that. I don't like that. I don't tolerate that. Or depending on the person, again, like if you know this is someone who's just always crashing out and it's like it's just a habit of theirs at this point, you could call it a character trait, because like even before the house and before losing the relationship, like they just always been a ready to go person. You can be like, you know what, I'm gonna keep some distance. Maybe we see each other a little bit less, or maybe we don't engage in those types of conversations, because if we have those deeper conversations, it turns into something like this, and I don't want to do that. Either way, it's what happens now type thing. The biggest thing is that you can't just say, nah, I'm good, it is what it is. Like, because it's not, it is what it is. Because those emotions that you don't allow to, again, be expressed as boundaries or whatever it needs to be expressed as a conversation, it usually turns into resentment, or it ends up being projected to somewhere else. So because you felt like, nah, I'm too good with Cuzzo, like I can't really say anything to them, now you're going around being angry to the next person that does the slightest thing to you. Like you can't use your 20% coupon, and now you're about to cause a war because really you're mad about that. So it's a cycle of like just projecting, and you know what I mean? Like that's, I think, where the gap is and why we live the way we do, because it's just a lot of cycling of like, I'm just gonna push this onto you because I didn't properly handle the emotion when I felt it in the moment. And it's not something I judge. I'm literally only coming to this realization because I just figured this out by myself, and I was like, oh, like I just realized like I don't always know how to maturely go through a conversation or approach something because of my own fears around communicating and expressing myself and stuff like that. But like in reality, an emotionally mature person understands that it's my job to communicate what I need to communicate, and however you deal with it, however you deal with it, however you react is how you react. That's not my responsibility. But I did my due diligence in letting you know how I felt. And now whatever you choose to do moving forward, that's up to you and God, you feel me? And like, it will also determine where we go moving forward as well. But like, you're okay with that because you understand that somebody who's really like you really want to keep in your life, that's going to actually be able to be there for you and be emotionally supportive, which I think is like the goal of community and stuff like that, to actually have people who can, you know, who want to uplift you and like treat you how you want to be treated and you deserve to be treated. They will, like, to end that long ass run-on sentence, that person who wants to be in your life will acknowledge it, whether they're like, you know what, you're right. And I think sometimes I fear communication because I'm like, oh, they're gonna be like, shut the fuck up. And you know what? Hey, some people will. But again, it's okay, you know what I mean? And if you're gonna tell me shut the fuck up when I tell you hurt my feelings, well, why the fuck would I want you in my life in the first place? You know what I mean? And it's also like, it might not happen like that. Like, they might just be like, nah, honestly, you're right, I was wild, and maybe they're too embarrassed to come say it to you first or whatever. So like, yeah, just having the maturity to go have that conversation, you know what I mean? And then maybe it'll leave like the door open for them to also be mature and be like, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Or, you know what, you're right, let me go to therapy so I can stop wilding on all these niggas that I've been wilding on these past years. Like, so yes. Hey, I finally got through that after like 25 takes.